Hi, this is Ben from benrogersproperty.com and this is the Property Diaries. Today is Monday 30th of September, last day of the month. So been in the office today, done a few bits and pieces, but also on the phone to some sellers as well. A couple I just want to share with you. One is a lead that I got through from one of my fellow licensees at Property Search TV, and he's got an opportunity that's out of his area. And it's an old guy, got a 500 grand house over in Sussex. The guy who wants to downsize into a like a lodge, which to you and me is a caravan, and one of these sort of nice caravans. 200 grand for a caravan. Lodge, my mistake. Owns the property outright, no mortgage on it. What does he do? Apart from there is something on it. It's not mortgage, it's an equity release with Aviva. Now, there's normally a couple of ways that these go. It's either like a lifetime equity release where basically they'll give you like 50% of the value of the house. You can stay there and live there for as long as you like. Normally you'll be carried out in a box at some stage. And at that stage, there's no property owned by you. It's then given to the company who then sell it and do what they want and that's how they make the money. He seems to have a slightly different one, which is where they've given him a chunk of money and he now owes £139,000 and that figure's going up. I would guess he probably originally borrowed like 100 grand or something, and that's their interest rate in it. But of course they've got a charge on the property, so he can't sell it, can't do anything until he clears that money. No mortgage apart from that. So he's got 500 grand, of which 140 odd, so he's got 360 grand equity in the property in his mind. Was up for almost 600 grand when it first went on the market in June of this year, and it's now gone down to 500. It's up with 4 agents, one of which is at 525 and the other 3 are at 500. Crazy. It looks like a lot of these agents have actually been instructed by the lodge company who are trying to sell the house for him, and they've then even been talking about doing like an equity or what do they call it, like a part exchange purchase on the property. But kind of the other way around, because normally it would be a part exchange for you to move up and take a bigger mortgage or a bigger house. He's downsizing, so not quite sure how they're going to structure that. Anyway, the guy's very open to doing stuff. He's 80 odd years old. He just wants to get to this lodge and chill out and relax, and it's only 15 minutes away from where he lives, and he's still got his friends around him. So there's a motivation there. He's adamant that nothing can be done unless it's £139,000 he's got rid of. Now, we could find a tenant buyer that might come in with 140 odd grand, but you know it's not that likely. Or sorry, that's unfair. It's not as easy as coming up with a tenant buyer who's got 5 grand. You know, but it's possible. It is possible. So what I'm going to do is going to find the details for me for tomorrow, so that I can then call the lodge company. I want to see if the lodge company will be open, because it sounds like being flexible, but I don't know how flexible. See if they'll be interested in doing a rent to buy on their lodge that's tied in with the rent to buy we do on the house, and then we find a tenant buyer to come in. So we can then clear the Aviva stuff, they can then be buying, we create an income there that pays for the rental on the lodge, and everybody's happy. It's tied in together so that when they buy his house from us, then he can buy his lodge from them. All right? So that's a background to it. So not easy. Hard work, elderly, all sorts of kind of challenges with the equity release side of things, but we'll see what we can do. It may be one that just goes in the hopper and who knows what happens to it. And talking about ones that go in the hopper, this is probably like another one. This is a property just down the road from where I live. Driving past it, it's got a for sale by owner thing on the front of it. And actually it's a company called, what's it, a company called? Oh, I can't find it. emove.co.uk. Ever come across eMove? Yeah, eMove without an E on the end. So it's an online, you know, sell your house. These guys have got 3 or 4 properties. They bought this place to move into. They've since had 2 kids. It's not big enough for them. It's a 3-bed. They've bought a bigger house. They now want some money out of this house to extend the new home they're living in. Or they might do it with another property where they've got a tenant in there long term and get rid of that tenant and sell that one and get some money out. So I think there's some possibilities there. However, ideally, in the head right now, they just want a simple sale. Allegedly, they have 2 other buyers locally who want to buy the property, but they've got houses they need to sell, and they've got somebody who can move in there and rent it straight away. Great, fantastic. What I've said is, look, we can do both of those things. We can be their tenant and their buyer, and we can give them stability. They don't have to worry about maintenance, no voids. They've got a guaranteed sale price on the house. Could be something that could be of interest. And she kind of poo-pooed it a little bit, but I think that she does want it gone, because they've had family friends that have lived in the property, so it's been looked after. It was a property they wanted to move in and live, so they've been very particular about who went in there. I've explained a particular use I've got for the property right now, as well as a long term. If you've got any objection if I make some money from selling it long term, and she's got no problem with that. Yeah, I mean, look, it could be a nice, little property, this one, because that would extend above the garage, it'd extend out the back. That could be a nice little project for somebody. It's got up for £400,000. I think that's a bit steep. But let's face it, if I can find somebody who wants to come in, do work to it, extend it, and really increase the value of it, perfect. It's going to work really nicely. So there you go. That's what stuff I want to share with you today. I think that's pretty much it. I'm about to head out of here. It's 6:30, 7:15, so it's time for me to go home. This is Ben. This is benrogersproperty.com. This is the Property Diaries. I'll speak to you tomorrow. Take care. Have a good night.